Sheds of Hope is a unique ministry of the PCA. If a family loses their home in a flood or in a fire or a tornado, then we take a shed, we put it up. It's free to the homeowners. They get to keep the shed, but they also are able to salvage belongings from their house into the shed. These Sheds of Hope provide just that for folks. They provide hope for people, giving them a place to put their belongings as they rebuild their lives. This past spring, we had two unique experiences with Sheds of Hope. Normally, we think about a major disaster, a hurricane or a tornado that comes through and devastates an area. But sometimes disasters are small. Sometimes disasters affect just one family.
I slowly walked towards the window and I started to open the blinds. That's when there was like an explosion. It went boom, and then the flames started going up the ceiling. The result of it is we lost everything. When I started looking around, and I was barefooted. I didn't have anything. It was February. And my wife grabbed her shoes. My baby was also barefooted. And you stand outside and you look and you see your house and you see everything you own. And the only thing you got left is a car, a pair of pants, and a shirt. It's like, it's not necessarily despair what goes through your mind. It's like, look at me, it's like I'm just starting. Everything gone within a minute and a half. Your life is completely changed.
When the Vincent's home was destroyed in a fire, the Lord brought the Sheds of Hope across my mind, and I looked them up and gave them a call, and Steve has just been so gracious in this. Steve came in and just took control. He brought his own group here and they put the shed up. Very well constructed shed. It looks very nice sitting over on the lot.
We couldn't believe it. It's like, why are you guys doing that for us? And he said, well, because we do it for our people. This is what we do. So we said, well, yeah, we would appreciate that. We're going to need it, especially for transition at the beginning, because we ain't got nowhere to put anything. So if somebody gives us a chair, if somebody gives us a dining table, if they give us, pillows, blankets, we'll put them there. And once the house is there, then we're going to take the stuff and then we're going to transition everything.
To me, Sheds of Hope is like planting seeds of hope. It's giving you hope that whatever you have lost can be rebuilt and restored. It's very similar to what we encounter in Christianity, where our hope is in Christ and He works through us, through the Spirit, to restore us, to bring us back to the glory that He wants His people to have. And I think Sheds of Hope reflects that part of our faith.
The neat thing about Sheds of Hope is it involves churches doing various roles from the start to the completion. So we have churches that set up that are specifically prepared to build the kits. And so they prefabricate all the parts. We then have churches who are able to set up those kits in the field. And so lots of times we'll go out, or one of our volunteers will go out and train people on how to set up the Sheds of Hope. It's a simple process. It takes about a half day if you have a team of 5 or 6 people. Well, a lot of people might be intimidated by the idea of building a shed, but the way these things are designed, they go together really easily. It's great if you have a team of 4, 5, 6 people, and maybe one of them might have some construction experience, but that's not even required. There's a great list of instructions, very detailed, that you can follow, and Basically, you can put together in the morning or an afternoon one of these kits that is going to be there for that family for a very long time.
We do Sheds of Hope at Lake Oconee Presbyterian Church. We do 6 builds a year, usually 3 in the spring, 3 in the fall. We try to break during the summer because it's hot here. We do 4 sheds per build, so we're doing 24 sheds per year. We've got anywhere between 12 to 15 gentlemen that are all of my age persuasion. Most of all of us are retired. We have no constraints as far as time, and we gather together and fellowship and have a good time and build a shed.
It happened really quickly, mid-morning on March the 18th, around 10:30 or so. My 3 older children were at the house, all daughters, with my wife. My oldest daughter just decided that she needed a kickstart that morning, and so she was going to the kitchen to make another cup of coffee, and saw flames out the back of the house. So they make their way out the front door. She knew who was there and who wasn't. The younger children were with me, and we weren't at the house at the time. And so she gets on the phone, calls 911, hangs up with them, calls me, and then goes up the driveway a little bit, turns around and takes pictures. And the first picture she took, flames were coming out of our upstairs windows. The church's response was overwhelming. That night, there was a session meeting to discuss how can we organize help for Scott and his family. They were in touch with my wife Sandy to get sizes for the kids' clothes. Our staff went immediately to local stores to get clothes, pajamas, socks, toothpaste, toothbrushes, all that stuff that we would need immediately.
After March the 18th and the fire that affected the Dinkins family, it was one of the first emails and calls that later that day that I made. And within a matter of minutes, I got a response from both Mike Kilmer and Steve Jessen that said, absolutely, let's make arrangements to get the shed and to get it built.
We lost everything. And so if you can think about our house and property, there's things that you just lock up inherently at night. You lock cars and you lock doors. Well, the valuables that we still had, which were few and far between, were now no longer lockable, not long after the fire. And then we were able to put stuff that we wanted to keep safe in the shed to lock up that's still there now. It's still locked up, waiting on reconstruction. One of the firemen, as things were settling down that day, looked at us and said, I'm not trying to make you feel guilty, but not everybody walks away from this kind of thing. And so we saw the Lord protecting and preserving us physically and our children spiritually and emotionally.
When you see people understand that God can provide for you, all you got to do is ask. Sometimes people don't ask for it, but they get the help they need. And so if you experience that, and I have, wow, it's powerful. It's so powerful.